All right, martingale system review. Is it worth it? Should you do it? My testimonial. Where do I begin, y'all? Where the hell do I begin? You know, if you're, where do I begin? I guess I should throw some tag words or keywords out there. Martingale system, Chris Mitchell-Gale system, roulette martingale. Should you do it? Can you do it? Does it work? Can you make money off of it? You know, if you're like me, well, shit, let me tell you what happened to me. Shit. So I had a friend come, into town, and we checked out a casino, and we went in, we played, we had a good time. You know, we did okay. We left. We didn't make any money, didn't lose any money. It's a good night at casino. If you spend a couple hours in the casino, don't make money, don't lose money if you're not a gambler. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened to me. And then, she was in town for a little bit, so we decided we'd check out another casino. Well, on the way to this one, we decided to pull up YouTube. YouTube, led me to this video on how to play roulette using the martingale system. Well, we went in that night, and I left with, I don't know, a few $100s more than I went in with, like somewhere between 500 to 1,000. Purple. It's the pink piggy, but it's turning purple. And in most of these videos, you be seeing people smoking joints and blunts and shit. And I don't know why bowls and bongs don't get love, but, here you go. Shout out once again, Mike Tyson. Your shit's overpriced, but I'm still fucking with it a little bit longer. That's until I go re-up. But anyway, back to the martingale system. So, I made a few bucks, and I was like, dang, maybe there's something to this. Business kind of slow. I got some time on my hands. Let me go see if, there's something to this. So the next day, grab my partner, my pops. We head out to West Virginia, Charlestown. Shout out to you. Can't stand you. Head out to Charlestown. And I'm like, yo, Dad, I'm about to try the system out. And all I'm doing is martingaling. And I had some luck. I made like $3,000 off. I brought like 1,000, made $3,000, almost $3,000. And I was like, yo, is there something to this? And I don't know if you're familiar with martingale system, but the martingale system is basically doubling your bets to recoup your losses when you do it. Many refer to it as very ballsy, be willing to keep doubling up to make back, whether it be $5, $10. You know what I mean? Meaning you put 10 on black, you lost, so you double it to get your money back and then increase by 10. That's basically what the idea is. It's cool the first couple hands, but then you get into the hundreds, and then you can get into 1,000s real quick, depending on what you got, to lose and what you're willing to risk. So yeah, second day, so I went from like almost 1,000 to, and then that 3,000, so I'm up like $4,000. And then I'm like, yo, this is easier than my job. My job ain't bad, but this is easier. And at the time, I thought it was more fun. So, I rock with it. I'm like, shit, I'm going to go back down there again. And so this process, so along the way, I felt like I was learning things. I went from, most of these bets I was making was like, either high numbers or low numbers, meaning first 18 or 19 through 36, red or black. What else was I doing? Red, black, even and odd. These are the type of things that I'd be placing $10 bets on and then martingaling them until I won. When I was playing with my friend, was here, I was collecting. I was taking the money out as I would win it. And, if I were a smart man, I would have stuck with that. But then I listened to, as I'm winning, I'm watching more and more YouTube videos. I watched the dealer videos with the Asian guys out of Las Vegas. Shout out to them, because they try to, they try to they keep it real more in hindsight than I realized at the time. And what I'll tell you, don't sit at the table too long. And these systems, are, yeah, dangerous and inconsistent at least. And so I watched Chris Mitchell, and he's got his he calls himself the GOAT, and he thinks his systems are the greatest thing available for a low roller in this present day. And so so his system's slightly similar, with the idea of martingaling and adding on and things of that sort, and certain betting schemes, whatever have you. I started watching videos and taking this information in, taking experiences in, and I can't say that as a low roller, within a 2-week period of time, I came up on over 10 grand with no losses until until so let me see if I can't rephrase that. I was hot, I was on fire, I was crushing it for about almost 2 weeks. And with each day, because you're spending time at this, each day I thought I was learning, and I still believe I was learning. And I kept telling myself I was going to be more disciplined, and I wasn't going to do this, I wasn't going to do that, I wasn't going to do this, and all these things in my mind that I told myself I would eliminate would make me that much more successful. And and my first loss was, I told you I made over 10 grand in 2 weeks, which ain't nothing for a real gambler, but for me that was good, that was great. But yeah, my first loss was 5K. So and the reason why it was 5K is because I adopted the idea that having more available to martingale, meaning instead of having a total of 1,000 available to bet, I would have as much as 3,500 or more. And because that would allow me to martingale more. Because the idea of martingaling is that there's a low likeliness of you, let's say, I'm betting on odd. There's a low likeliness of odd coming out 7, 8, 9, or 10 times. For 7, it's like 1 out of 157th, they'll tell you. For 8, it's 1 out of 350 something, they'll tell you. But the reality is the wheel doesn't necessarily understand these odds. And it'll give you 9 odds in a row. It'll give you 9 blacks in a row. Whatever you think won't happen 9, 10 times, you will lose all your money if you keep that feeling. And that's what happened to me. That first time I lost. And that second time I lost was soon after that, when I went back. I took 1,000. I thought I was going to be more disciplined. I was going to claw back, take back what, they had taken from me, even though I was still up, which at this point in time, gambling was no longer fun in my mind. I adopted this mindset that I was down, even though I was up. I adopted this mindset that I was down, and I needed to get what was taken from me. And so I take my 1,000 and I go back, and I'm like, all right, goal. When I get 1,000, my money back, all right, the 1,000 I brought, I'm gonna put that aside and play with money until I get another 1,000. And then that's gonna be, I'm gonna put that aside. And then anything after that is what I'll play with in hopes to make a little bit more. Sounds reasonable, sounds reasonable. Until I get down there. And after clawing for a bit, I get my 1,000, and then I get up 1,300. So I'm up 1,300 plus the 1,000 that I brought, and so I'm like, I'm gonna go get that in cash. I got that in cash, and so the 1,000 I brought, I recouped, and I'm 1,200 or 300 up, and I still got this voucher for 400 I'm playing with. So I'm playing. I'm with that $400 voucher, and because all the other funds are supposed to be off limit. Well, I'm playing with that 400, and I get on a series in which I can't believe I'm not winning, and I feel it should end each and every next turn. And so when that that 474 voucher is just about to be over, because I'm not getting what I'm expecting. Yeah, I start chasing it. I reach into my pocket and I start pulling out that other money. And so I'm throwing hundreds back into the machine. And with each and every roll, to my disbelief, I'm losing. And so, yeah, instead of clawing back and coming up, I lost that 1,000 I brought and all that I had made with it. And at that moment, I had a realization that this is a good game. And you can win money playing it. I would do a few things, though. I would have cutoffs, meaning if you're going to martingale, I don't care who you listen to, I wouldn't go to the casino to martingale with more than $1,000 to play. And once I made my $1,000 that I had to play back, I would take that money, put it away. And then I would shoot for another $1,000. And I would take that $1,000 and put it away. And I would never touch those $2,000 for the rest of the night. And whatever happens after that with whatever I'm playing with, that's how you do it. If you take $1,000 and go martingale roulette and you lose $1,000, then you just got unlucky. If you go up there and start and shell more than $1,000 into that machine and you lose, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. There wasn't a time in which I went to go play roulette in which I didn't see 9 of something back to back. The mathematical, probabilities of these things don't apply when it comes to roulette, because whatever you don't expect to see or think can happen is gonna happen if you sit there long enough. And if you are a greedy gambler, which I found myself to be, then you're gonna see it and it's gonna eat you up. And the way to be successful is to not exceed $1,200 attempting to martingale and roulette. And take your winnings out when you make them, because you're gonna see that 7, 8, 9 odds, or 9 blacks, or 9 lows when you're, you know what I'm saying? You know, no, no matter how much you learn playing roulette, you're gonna be forced to learn something else, and usually it's that you can be wrong when you think you can't be. So at the end of the day, do I recommend martingaling? Hell yeah, I do. I don't recommend you trying to make it your job. I recommend that you separate all feelings from the shit. I recommend that you don't expect to win, but hope to, and set aside your winnings when you get them. And limitations. But yeah. So in conclusion, I'm not a hater or a supporter, but if you want to have fun and possibly make a good deal of money, you can do it martingaling roulette. Yes, you can. But can you lose a lot of money being stupid, greedy, and egotistical? Absolutely. So with that being said, me and the Purple Pig wish you the best.